within the next 2
What
weeks.
makes you think there's still a substantial chance, is my question.
I'm not going to get into the reasoning and the rationale the president believes that, but that's his position, and he will make a decision within the next 2 weeks.
Caroline.
Sure.
Thanks, Caroline. President Trump has said previously in regard to Russia, he's used this phrase about 2 weeks several times in terms of like, we expect like a 2-week deadline and then you give another 2-week deadline. How can we be sure that he's going to stick to this one on making a decision on Iran?
Señores, sin duda alguna, Caroline Leavitt no es buena en su trabajo. Miente, la descubren, se pone nerviosa y se derrumba. Por eso, señores, cuando me enteré de que daría una conferencia de prensa el día de ayer, supe que iba a dar un espectáculo, ya que no había forma de que se saliera con la suya esta vez. No había espacio para la propaganda estilo Corea del Norte, ni evasivas típicas, ¿no?, del magaverso. Tenía que responder a preguntas reales sobre una crisis real que no pueden ocultar. Y cómo no, mintió. Y por supuesto, la pescaron al instante. Empecemos, amigos, por donde arrancó ella misma. Una supuesta gran revelación sobre cuándo es que Trump tomará una de las decisiones más importantes de su presidencia. Lo que dijo, señores, es tan absurdo que da vergüenza ajena. Escuchen ustedes.
Now, regarding the ongoing situation in Iran, I know there has been a lot of speculation amongst all of you in the media regarding the president's decision-making and whether or not the United States will be directly involved. In light of that news, I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks." That's a quote directly from the president for all of you today.
Y es que bravo, amigos. Otra vez estamos a tan solo 2 semanas de la gran decisión. ¿Les suena conocido eso? Porque a mí sí. En 2 semanas vamos a tener el plan de salud. En 2 semanas llega el plan de infraestructura. En 2 semanas sabremos la política exterior de Trump. ¿Realmente piensan que somos tan tontos como ellos? Esto ya no parece una rueda de prensa, parece un sketch. ¿Cuántas veces más van a salir a decir en 2 semanas? Como si fuese algo nuevo. Y lo mejor, ¿no? Más adelante le volvieron a preguntar por eso del plazo mágico, y al parecer a Caroline Leavitt no le gustó para nada. Pero es lógico. Donald Trump sigue empujando la fecha, como siempre, mientras se rodea de personas, de asesores, que no tienen ni la menor idea, que no saben qué hacer, y él mismo ya está completamente perdido. El movimiento MAGA, mis amigos, está en una guerra interna por esta posible decisión de ir a la guerra con Irán. También, pues, le preguntaron a Caroline Leavitt sobre esto, y bueno, miren cómo reaccionó.
So Rhino warmonger Lindsey Graham, he recently called on the U.S. to go all in.
That's quite the lead to a question.
Right. What's your message to everyday Trump supporters? Not the Tucker Carlsons or other big names, but everyday Trump supporters, grassroots who voted for President Trump to stop the wars, rejected this in the primary, going into another war with voting against Nikki Haley, and they want to see non-U.S. involvement in this war. What's your message?
Trust in President Trump. President Trump has incredible instincts, and President Trump kept America and the world safe in his first term as president in implementing a peace through strength foreign policy agenda. And with respect to Iran, nobody should be surprised by the president's position that Iran absolutely cannot obtain a nuclear weapon. He's been unequivocally clear about this for decades, not just as president, not just as a presidential candidate, but also as a private citizen. In fact, I have some quotes for you. In 2011, President Trump said America's primary goal with Iran must be to destroy its nuclear ambitions. We cannot allow this radical regime to acquire a nuclear weapon that they will either use or hand off to terrorists. In 2015, the president said the problem is that Iran poses an existential threat to Israel, our Middle Eastern allies, and the United States. And of course, the president has repeated that in his first term as president and his second term as president as well. That's why he was adamantly opposed to the disastrous Iranian nuclear agreement that was implemented by President Obama. And it's why he has given great latitude and given a lot of effort to achieving a diplomatic solution. But he's been very clear. Iran went for 60 days when he gave them that 60-day warning without coming to the table. On day 61, Israel took action against Iran. And as I just told you from the president directly, he will make a decision within 2 weeks.
A follow-up.
Ok. Confiar en el instinto de Donald Trump. No, amigo. Yo paso. Muchísimas gracias. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Tucker Carlson. Las voces más ruidosas del movimiento MAGA están en contra de esta decisión y Trump está como loco, pegado a Fox News las 24 horas, buscando qué pensar. Así es como está de inestable. Por eso está en modo espiral, no tiene criterio, no tiene plan y los suyos le están dando la espalda. Pero bueno, eso no detuvo a Caroline Leavitt, siguió intentando tapar el caos y claro, le volvieron a preguntar por la supuesta guerra civil MAGA dentro de la Casa Blanca. Escuchen.
Like that.
Thank you. To what extent is this 2-week delay with Iran the result of interventions by the likes of Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, or the entreaties of European leaders who want a de-escalation?
Look, the president hears all voices across the country and he makes decisions based on his instincts. And he has always said diplomacy is his first option.
And is he still planning to attend the NATO summit next week?
He is, yes. We will be departing from Washington on Monday morning and hopefully we'll see some of you there. Kayla.
Thanks, Caroline.
A ver, desde que empezó su campaña, Donald Trump vendió una mentira central. No vamos a tener nuevas guerras. Eso es lo que decía. Miren dónde estamos. Apenas unos meses dentro de su mandato y ya quiere meternos en un conflicto internacional. Así que amigos, es normal que muchos en MAGA estén furiosos. Trump sabe que tiene una base decepcionada. Tal vez quiere una guerra para distraer. Porque mientras los precios suben, mientras hay más caos, mientras se reprime a manifestantes pacíficos y mientras Elon Musk aparece en los archivos de Epstein, lo único que le queda a Trump es el truco viejo de siempre, ¿no? Tranquilos, que en 2 semanas lo arreglamos todos. Pero finalmente la enfrentaron con la mentira de los en 2 semanas. Escuchen cómo intentó zafarse de esta.
Within the next 2
What
weeks.
makes you think there's still a substantial chance is my question.
I'm not going to get into the reasoning and the rationale. The president believes that, but that's his position, and he will make a decision within the next 2 weeks. Sure.
Thanks, Caroline. President Trump has said previously in regard to Russia, he's used this phrase about 2 weeks several times in terms of like, we expect like a 2-week deadline and then you give another 2-week deadline. How can we be sure that he's going to stick to this one on making a decision on Iran?
Well, in those deadlines, as you've seen in respect to Russia-Ukraine, might I add, these are 2 very different, complicated global conflicts, as you know, that the president inherited from our previous incompetent president in the weakness of the previous administration. And the president has spent a tremendous amount of time and effort cleaning up these crises that were caused by the last administration's just complete dereliction of duty on the world stage and American weakness. Now we have American strength again. With respect to Russia and Ukraine, because of that American strength, and the president's leadership, we have seen these 2 sides engage in direct negotiations. And the last time the president said 2 weeks, you saw Russia and Ukraine have direct negotiations for the first time in years. And so the president is always interested in a diplomatic solution to the problems and the global conflicts in this world. Again, he is a peacemaker in chief. He is the peace through strength president. And so if there's a chance for diplomacy, the president's always going to grab it. But he's not afraid to use strength as well, I will add.
Un aplauso para ese periodista, amigos. Cada vez que digan 2 semanas, lo mínimo que hay que preguntarles es ¿y qué pasó la última vez que dijeron eso? Nunca cumplen. Es como una especie de salto mortal, ¿no? Que nadie en la historia ha logrado aterrizar. Es absurdo, es cómico, es como una mala película de los 70. Lo más frustrante, señores, es que muchos periodistas no hacen su trabajo. Dejan pasar estas mentiras obvias, como si fuesen una respuesta válida. Por eso, cuando por fin alguien se atreve a presionar a la secretaria de Trump, se desarma, ¿no? Porque no sabe qué decir. Porque no hay nada que decir. Y es que Donald Trump no es el negociador que él prometió ser. No es el pacificador que él nos vendió en su campaña. Y sinceramente, cualquier persona con 2 dedos en el frente ya lo sabría. Porque Trump, perdón que lo diga así, no tiene un cerebro funcional. Es lo mismo que nos dijo con claridad Lawrence O'Donnell. Miren este análisis que no tiene desperdicio.
Well, if Donald Trump gets dementia, how will we know? Donald Trump's mental decline, which is more and more obvious, started from such a low level of mental processing power that it's hard to track his decline. It's from low to lower. And then there are days like today when Donald Trump asks himself out loud in public if he is allowed to appoint himself chair of the Federal Reserve. Now, it may be tiresome to hear, but we must not grow weary of making the point that no other president was ever capable of saying anything as stupid or as indicative of dementia as that. Am I allowed to appoint myself chair of the Federal Reserve? And we must not grow weary of reminding ourselves what the White House press corps would have done if Joe Biden ever said anything like that, and how big the headlines would be in the next day's print editions of the New York Times and the Washington Post and every newspaper in the country, because if we grow weary of making the point of how singularly stupid and possibly clinically demented Donald Trump's statements are, then we will become part of the normalization process of those statements, which most of the American news media has unwittingly participated in, and 14-year-olds in this country will think it's perfectly normal for a president to say those things. And on a day when the President of the United States is reportedly in a meeting in the Situation Room where he is trying to decide how much to support or fully join a war that he opposed a week ago, it must be reported as part of that very same story that the person who is supposed to be in charge in that Situation Room meeting, the person who is supposed to be the decider in chief, as George W. Bush put it, in that meeting doesn't know if he can appoint himself chair of the Federal Reserve, and some of the highest ranking people in that room with that president also don't know the answer to that question. Pete Hegseth has no idea if Donald Trump can appoint himself chair of the Federal Reserve. Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump have no idea that Donald Trump doesn't even have the legal power to fire the chair of the Federal Reserve, and he also doesn't have the power to unilaterally replace the chair of the Federal Reserve because it requires a confirmation vote by the United States Senate. That's how small the brain is that is sitting at the head of the table in the Situation Room deciding just how much the United States of America should participate in the war between Israel and Iran, that Donald Trump all but promised his voters could not possibly occur on his watch. In fact, that's exactly what he promised. Donald Trump spent his entire presidential campaign saying Vladimir Putin would not have dared to launch a full-scale war against Ukraine if Donald Trump had been president. Donald Trump spent his entire presidential campaign claiming that Hamas would not have dared to attack Israel on October 7th, 2023. Donald Trump promised no wars.
Y es que para mí, amigos, Lawrence es uno de los pocos medios que de verdad se atreven a hablar del evidente deterioro cognitivo que tiene Trump. Y eso es algo urgente, ¿no? Porque mientras crecen los conflictos internacionales, Donald Trump cambia de opinión cada 5 minutos. Lo único que nos demuestra es que hay una lucha interna por el poder en su administración. Ya hemos hablado de esto, de Stephen Miller, de su influencia oscura, pero bueno, seguramente esto va mucho más profundo, ¿no? La pregunta es, ¿quién está realmente tomando las decisiones en la Casa Blanca? Mientras Trump está arrastrando al país al abismo. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarme hasta el final de este video. Recuerda, como siempre, dale like, compártelo con tus amigos y suscríbete a nuestro canal Políticamente en Desacuerdo. Nos vemos en el próximo video. Hasta luego.